Welcome back to Decoding Dynasty, where we unravel the tangled threads of history through the lens of modern science and genetics. I'm your host, Zara, and today we're embarking on a journey to the land of pharaohs, a realm of immense power, breathtaking monuments, and enduring mysteries. For centuries, our understanding of these ancient rulers, their lives, their lineages, their very beings, has been shaped by the hieroglyphs they left behind, the majestic tombs they built, and the artifacts they were buried with. But what if we could delve deeper? What if we could unlock secrets hidden within their very bones, within the ancient echoes of their DNA? Today we're stepping into the fascinating world where archaeology meets cutting-edge science, where genetic analysis and advanced imaging are rewriting the story of Egypt's most iconic figures. We'll explore the surprising familial connections within the royal lines, the ailments that plagued even the most powerful, and the long-lost ancestry that connects them to a world beyond the Nile. Get ready to decode the pharaohs as we uncover the royal lineage and health of ancient Egypt through the powerful lens of modern science. The names resonate through millennia: Tutankhamun, Akhenaten, Ramses, pharaohs, god-kings who ruled over a civilization that captivated the ancient world and continues to fascinate us today. Their authority was absolute, their lineage divine. Dynasties rose and fell along the fertile banks of the Nile, each pharaoh striving to uphold Ma'at, the cosmic order, and ensure the prosperity of their kingdom. For generations, historians and archaeologists painstakingly pieced together the intricate tapestry of these royal families. They deciphered royal decrees, traced the lines of succession through king lists, and analyzed the relationships depicted in tomb paintings and inscriptions. We learned of sibling marriages intended to preserve the purity of the royal bloodline, of powerful queens who wielded significant influence, and of the constant struggle to maintain dynastic continuity. Yet, for all the insights gleaned from these traditional methods, a fundamental layer remained elusive: the biological reality of these ancient rulers. Who were their parents, their siblings, their children, in a genetic sense? What predispositions did they inherit? What diseases did they carry within their very DNA? For a long time, these questions seemed destined to remain unanswered, lost to the sands of time and the processes of mummification. But as we'll discover, the dawn of molecular Egyptology has changed everything, offering an unprecedented glimpse into the biological legacies of the pharaohs. Join us as we delve into the revolutionary techniques that are unlocking the genetic secrets of ancient Egypt, revealing a new chapter in the story of its mighty pharaohs. The idea of extracting and analyzing DNA from millennia-old mummies might have once seemed like science fiction. The harsh Egyptian climate, with its scorching days and dry nights, coupled with the very chemicals used in the intricate process of mummification, were long considered insurmountable barriers to the preservation of intact genetic material. Skepticism was rife within the scientific community. Could anything as delicate as DNA truly survive such a relentless assault by time and the elements? But the persistent curiosity of scientists, coupled with remarkable advancements in molecular biology, refused to be deterred. The late 20th and early 21st centuries witnessed the birth of what is now often called molecular Egyptology. Researchers began to meticulously refine techniques for extracting genetic material from ancient remains, facing the daunting challenges of severe DNA degradation and the ever-present risk of modern human contamination. Imagine trying to piece together a shattered vase with only the smallest fragments, all while ensuring no dust from your own hands gets mixed in. That's a rough analogy of the complexities involved. Early breakthroughs came with the realization that while ancient DNA was indeed fragmented and chemically modified, it wasn't entirely lost. Pioneering work such as that by Svante Pääbo and his colleagues demonstrated that even in these challenging conditions, it was possible to isolate and even clone small but significant pieces of DNA from mummified tissues. This opened up a tantalizing prospect: the potential to directly study the genetic heritage of the pharaohs. One of the most significant early triumphs of this new field came with the ambitious project to unravel the family tree of one of Egypt's most famous rulers, Tutankhamun. In a comprehensive study published in 2010, a team of researchers conducted genetic and anthropological analyses on 11 royal mummies from the late 18th dynasty. The results were nothing short of groundbreaking. By employing sophisticated genetic fingerprinting techniques, they successfully constructed a 5-generation pedigree of Tutankhamun's immediate lineage. The mysterious KV-55 mummy and the mummy known as KV-35YL were definitively identified as his parents, shedding light on a previously debated chapter of Egyptian royal history. But the genetic insights weren't limited to the New Kingdom. Earlier dynasties also began to yield their secrets. Take, for instance, the intriguing case of 2 high-status individuals from the 12th dynasty, Nakht-Ankh and Khnum-Nakht. Their skeletal remains, discovered together, presented differing physical characteristics, leading to questions about their relationship. Traditional archaeological methods could only go so far. However, when ancient DNA sequencing was applied, the results revealed a fascinating truth. Despite their physical differences, Nakht-Ankh and Khnum-Nakht shared a maternal lineage, confirming they were half-brothers with different fathers. This study beautifully illustrates the power of genetics to clarify complex historical relationships that skeletal morphology alone could not resolve. These early successes, while facing considerable technical hurdles, laid the foundation for a new era in Egyptological research. The ability to extract and analyze even fragmented ancient DNA offered a powerful new tool to decode the dynasties of Egypt, moving beyond interpretations of artifacts and texts to the very biological fabric of its rulers. Next, we'll delve into what these genetic investigations have revealed about the health and diseases that afflicted the pharaohs, painting a more human picture of these seemingly godlike figures. The genetic revolution in Egyptology has given us more than just a family tree. It's also provided a fascinating window into the health and potential ailments of the pharaohs. By analyzing the DNA of these ancient rulers, scientists have been able to identify genetic markers associated with various diseases, offering a more nuanced understanding of their lives and, in some cases, their deaths. One of the most talked about findings concerns Tutankhamun. The same study that reconstructed his family pedigree also revealed that he carried genetic markers associated with several conditions. He showed evidence of Koehler disease 2, a rare bone disorder, and, perhaps more significantly, he tested positive for DNA of Plasmodium falciparum, the parasite that causes malaria. While it's unlikely malaria was the sole cause of his demise, it was likely a contributing factor, weakening him and making him more susceptible to other illnesses or complications from injuries, such as a fractured leg. Tuberculosis was also a significant health challenge in ancient Egypt. Evidence of this disease, which primarily affects the lungs, has been found in numerous mummified remains, including those of royalty. The close living conditions in densely populated areas along the Nile, combined with the practice of mummification itself, which could potentially preserve and transmit the bacteria, likely contributed to its prevalence. Genetic analysis has also shed light on inherited conditions within the royal lines. For example, some researchers have proposed that certain members of the 18th dynasty, including Akhenaten, may have suffered from genetic disorders that affected their appearance, such as Marfan syndrome or other conditions causing elongated features. While these theories remain debated, the ability to investigate such hypotheses at a molecular level marks a significant leap forward in our understanding. It's important to remember that these genetic insights don't tell the whole story. The lives of the pharaohs were shaped by a complex interplay of genetic predispositions, environmental factors, diet, and even accidental injuries. However, the ability to peer into their DNA adds a crucial new dimension to our understanding, humanizing these figures who were once seen as almost mythical. We're gaining a clearer picture of the challenges they faced, the diseases they battled, and the biological realities that underlay their extraordinary reigns. This is not about diminishing their achievements, but rather about appreciating the full spectrum of their humanity. In our next section, we'll explore some of the more controversial and debated topics in the genetic study of the pharaohs, including the mysteries surrounding Akhenaten and the possibility of foreign ancestry in the royal lines. The reign of Akhenaten, the so-called heretic king of the 18th dynasty who attempted to revolutionize Egyptian religion by focusing on the Aten, the sun disk, has long been a source of fascination and speculation. His unique artistic depictions, featuring elongated features and a somewhat androgynous physique, have fueled numerous theories about potential genetic abnormalities, including Marfan syndrome, a genetic disorder affecting connective tissue, or other endocrine disorders. While the genetic analysis of Akhenaten himself remains inconclusive due to the uncertain identification and condition of his potential remains, studies of his close relatives, including his son Tutankhamun, have not revealed the specific genetic markers associated with Marfan syndrome. However, the presence of other malformations within the family, as noted in the 2010 study, suggests a higher incidence of inherited conditions within this particular royal lineage. The debate continues, highlighting both the potential and the limitations of ancient DNA analysis when dealing with incomplete or poorly preserved remains. Another fascinating area of research revolves around the ancestry of the ancient Egyptians, including the pharaohs. Traditional historical accounts document various periods of foreign influence and rule in Egypt, from the Hyksos invasion to the later Greek and Roman dominations. The question naturally arises: did these interactions leave a significant genetic imprint on the Egyptian population, particularly the ruling elite? Groundbreaking genetic studies comparing the DNA of ancient Egyptian mummies with that of modern-day Egyptians and other populations have yielded surprising results. These studies have consistently shown that ancient Egyptians shared a closer genetic affinity with populations from the Near East than with contemporary Egyptians, who exhibit a more significant degree of sub-Saharan African admixture due to more recent historical migrations and interactions. This suggests that the genetic makeup of the ancient Egyptian population, including the pharaohs, remained relatively stable throughout long periods, even in the face of foreign rule. The major genetic shift appears to have occurred in more recent millennia. This finding underscores the dynamic nature of population genetics over time and challenges simplistic notions of a static and unchanging ancient Egyptian identity. Furthermore, some research has delved into the deeper origins of the pharaonic civilization itself. Interestingly, archaeological and now some genetic evidence points towards a significant contribution from nomadic cattle herders in the eastern desert, rather than solely from settled agricultural communities in the Nile Valley. This hints at a more complex and diverse ancestry for the people who would eventually rise to rule one of history's greatest civilizations. These ongoing investigations into the ancestry of the pharaohs highlight the power of genetics to not only confirm or challenge historical narratives, but also to reveal previously unknown layers of population movement and interaction in the ancient world. Now we'll shift our focus from the microscopic world of DNA to the macroscopic realm of imaging, exploring the non-invasive techniques that are allowing researchers to study mummies in unprecedented detail without disturbing their ancient remains. For centuries, the primary way to study a mummy was to physically unwrap it, a process that, while revealing, was inherently destructive and irreversible. Today, however, a suite of sophisticated, non-invasive imaging techniques is revolutionizing how we explore these fragile relics of the past. These methods allow researchers to peer beneath the linen bandages and into the very structure of mummified remains without ever disturbing their ancient slumber. Leading the charge in this non-destructive exploration is computed tomography, or CT scanning. This technology, which uses X-rays to create detailed cross-sectional images, has become an indispensable tool in mummy analysis. Think of it like taking a series of very thin slices through the mummy, which can then be digitally reconstructed into a three-dimensional model. CT scans can reveal an astonishing amount of information, from the age and sex of the deceased to evidence of diseases, injuries, and even the intricate details of their mummification process, all without unwrapping a single layer of linen. But CT scanning is just the beginning. X-ray diffraction, often used in conjunction with CT, allows researchers to map the materials present within the mummy. This can help identify the types of embalming substances used, the presence of amulets or other inclusions, and even the condition of the bones and tissues. Another fascinating technique is terahertz imaging. Terahertz waves, which fall between microwaves and infrared light on the electromagnetic spectrum, can penetrate many non-metallic materials, including the linen wrappings of mummies. This allows researchers to differentiate between soft tissues and the various embalming materials applied to the body, providing valuable insights into the mummification process and the preservation state of the remains near the surface. While traditionally challenging due to the high water content in biological tissues, advancements in magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI, are also opening new avenues for non-invasive mummy analysis. Portable MRI units are now being developed that can be brought directly to museum collections, allowing for the study of mummified tissues and even providing information about bone density and tissue differentiation without the need for transportation or unwrapping. Perhaps considered the gold standard in non-invasive imaging is propagation phase contrast synchrotron microtomography, or PPC-SR-MeCT. This highly advanced technique, often requiring access to synchrotron facilities, offers incredibly high-resolution views of the internal structures of mummies, down to the microscopic level. Coupled with sophisticated automated segmentation tools, PPC-SR-MeCT provides unparalleled detail about tissue preservation and potential pathologies. These non-invasive imaging methods are not just about seeing what's inside. They are about preserving the integrity of these irreplaceable historical artifacts while maximizing the scientific information we can glean from them. They represent a crucial ethical consideration in modern mummy research, ensuring that these ancient individuals are treated with the respect they deserve while still allowing us to learn from their remains. In our final segment, we'll reflect on the profound impact that genetic analysis and these non-invasive techniques are having on our understanding of ancient Egyptian history and the lives of its pharaohs. As we draw our exploration to a close, it's clear that the integration of modern science and genetics into the study of ancient Egyptian mummies has profoundly reshaped our understanding of this remarkable civilization and its rulers. What was once shrouded in the mists of time and interpreted solely through archaeological finds and historical texts is now being illuminated by the powerful beams of scientific inquiry. Genetic analysis has provided us with an unprecedented level of detail about the familial relationships within the royal dynasties, confirming or challenging long-held assumptions and revealing surprising connections. It has allowed us to glimpse the health challenges faced by the pharaohs, offering insights into the diseases that may have shaped their lives and even contributed to their deaths. Furthermore, the revelations about the ancestry of ancient Egyptians, pointing towards a closer connection to the Near East than modern populations, underscore the dynamic nature of human history and the importance of looking beyond simplistic narratives. Complementing these genetic breakthroughs are the remarkable advancements in non-invasive imaging techniques. Methods like CT scanning and terahertz imaging allow us to peer inside mummies without the destructive act of unwrapping, preserving these invaluable artifacts for future generations while still yielding a wealth of information about their physical condition, mummification practices, and even the objects buried with them. This multidisciplinary approach, combining the power of science with ethical considerations, is truly revolutionizing the field of Egyptology. The ongoing research in this area promises even more exciting discoveries. As genetic sequencing technologies continue to improve and non-invasive imaging becomes even more sophisticated, we can anticipate further revelations about the lives, lineages, and health of the pharaohs. The ancient DNA preserved within their mummified remains holds a wealth of information waiting to be unlocked, offering the potential to answer long-standing historical questions and perhaps even uncover new mysteries. Ultimately, the decoding of the pharaohs through the lens of modern science and genetics is not about demystifying these iconic figures. Instead, it's about bringing them closer to us, revealing their shared humanity alongside their extraordinary power. By understanding their biological realities, their familial ties, and the challenges they faced, we gain a richer and more nuanced appreciation for their place in history and the enduring legacy of their dynasties. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the genetic and scientific secrets of ancient Egypt's pharaohs. If you enjoyed this episode of Decoding Dynasty, please be sure to subscribe and leave a review. We love hearing from you and exploring the historical puzzles that pique your interest. Until next time, when we'll unravel another tangled thread of history through the fascinating lens of modern science.